Alrighty. Whoops. Ads, you don't even get a break when it's your own stream with the ads. Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OH, and this is the Ramsey Show After Show. There we go. This is a little low. Let me see, what do I have there? Yeah, that's probably fine. Let me know if you're having a problem hearing me. I'll kick in some gain. This is Coach Steve Money. You are watching the Ramsey Show After Show, and it was a new show today, apparently. After David said 2 weeks ago that Wednesday was going to be the giving show and it was going to be the last new show of 2024, and I guess they changed their mind on that. Or he misspoke, one or the other. And so new shows and probably then a new show tomorrow, although it is Friday, so I would not expect to see Mr. Ramsey tomorrow. You won't see Dave tomorrow. It's only a day away. Alrighty, so youtube.com/Coach Steve Money is where you're watching this. And if you just scroll down past the Oak Island playlist, you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist. Hey, that's this show, and today is number 441 of those. So plenty of other shows for you to listen to if you ever need to hear me tell people they're doing it wrong, or say calling them dumb because they're doing dumb crap. You can certainly do that. Answering your financial questions stream as well. That playlist, 137 of those. Also the music playlist. There's 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there, including How to Do the Baby's Nibs Right. All right. Market report. So today was a little weird on the, let's get the NASDAQ. A little weird on the trading today because it was way down yesterday. And then the futures were down as well. But then this morning it opened up high. And apparently because there was good gross domestic product numbers, also good jobless numbers as well. And so it was up all the time until right at the very end. I guess people trying to lock in those gains for the day. And so a lot of selling there. All right, so don't really understand that, but let's see if the S&P did the same thing. Yeah, basically the same pattern for the S&P 500. That same thing opened up way high and then just went back down over time. And all that would have been fine too, except the last bit of the day, you just got people trying to, I guess, lock in the gains, which that will happen. And the Dow, though, a little bit up today, 0.036%, and that is low, but that is still in the green here. See what the rest of the planet did. Everything down in Europe, everything down in Asia. The US dollar down to the euro. US dollar up against the Japanese yen. Up against the British pound, love. Down to the Canadian dollar, and down also to the Australian dolomite. And we have, what was today? The 19th. So we had Accenture. I don't know much about that. Let's see what FedEx did, because they're delivering Christmas gifts and so forth. And so let's see what their report was like. And apparently theirs was good because they went way up in the after hours trading. So let's see what it says. they're gonna separate FedEx Freight, so then they'll have uh, two components of the same company, I guess. The same parent company, I guess, will own both, perhaps. They got mixed quarter two estimates. Yeah. Oh, mixed quarter two earnings. Okay. So I don't understand that because it's not quarter two anymore. This is quarter 3 or 4 that they would be reporting on. Let's see. Unless they're not using the regular calendar, they're using some other kind of quarterly calendar. So, but it appears that they were the earnings report. Let's see. So I guess it's just based on that news then, if it's not from, quarter 4 revenue estimates. Right. Okay. So mixed quarter 2 earnings. Does that mean? Yeah, I don't get it at all. I don't understand it. This is what part of the market that I do not understand when it starts talking about different things. Quarter 4, I understand. We're ending quarter 4 right now, and the end of that will be like the end of the year, which is in like 2 weeks. But the mixed quarter 2 earnings, I don't know. That can't be future earnings because that is not going to happen until, well, you got like January, February, March, and so that would be in like April, May, June would be quarter 2. So I don't know. And Mrs. Quarter 4 revenue estimates, maybe somebody just typoed there. I do not know. But stock so basically it's just because of the new news then. It's not because of a great report or great expectations for money coming in the coming quarters, but it's just because of they're going to branch out and split off the businesses into 2 businesses. All right. Fun times. Let's see what the most followed single stocks on the Google today. Apple and Alphabet up, Microsoft down, Amazon up, and Meta and Tesla down. A rare day for Tesla to be up or down. Less than 1%. Very rare. See what news we got. The Dow Jones rebounded 450 points after a surprise GDP, jobless claims, and an AI chip giant Micron plunges. And that's from earlier in the day. And so all that went away for the Dow. And so it ended up barely being up. All right. So I think I heard something about this on a podcast. Or somebody mentioned flat earth, and I thought, you know what, I've never seen a flat earth globe. I wonder what that would look like. And so I googled Google image search, images.google.com, and wanted to see what that would look like, and there you go. Flat earth. And how thick do they think it is what I would like to know as well. Interesting. Like the actual Earth. If it's flat, how thick is it? All right, let's get into some questions. Oh, of course I didn't get it to the right spot. What up, Simply Mila's? Because we should have multiple Milas for sure. Marshall. Haven't sung to you in a while. Yeah, I will be doing that. I need to find Aubrey singing All I Want for Christmas. I need to find that recording so I can, and then I'll just sing the backup part so we can do that one. And probably some other Christmas songs. Those will be coming up here. I'll also be at some point, probably at night, so probably after an after show. I will I'll save it for Christmas Eve. I'm gonna go to Easton Town Center They always go all out with the Christmas decorations there. They got a huge tree there. It's huge. And I'll do a live stream from there using my phone. That'll be the first one that I've done. Fun times. Okay, so we need to go by new. This is reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey. And let's see, we're about 5 days. Four days ago. Private school. Friends judging. They don't get a vote. Is this it? Oh, okay. Moving to USA, should we buy it? We did that one. There we go. Okay, so here we are. That didn't take that long. Sorry for the delay anyway. WA206425. As soon as I get an assistant, I will have them do all this stuff, and I'll just be the talent, as I should be. Please give me your honest opinion on this situation. To be honest, I will. I don't have to say honestly or to be honest, because I'll just always be honest with you. So no need to say it. Just be it. Don't say it. It's really bothering me. Okay, thanks in advance. My wife and I, 28 years old, no debt, 250K net worth, excuse me. Live in $1,200 a month apartment in not best area of town. Friends will often make comments or jokes about the area, which is fine. I'm all for good fun. But today I was on the phone with my best friend from childhood, and he is bragging about the house he recently bought in the middle of nowhere and how we need to visit. He then asked if we were thinking of buying soon, which I reply we are in no rush due to interest rates, making it cheaper to rent than buy in most areas. He then says you need to move out of that crappy apartment. You know, and people can say whatever they want to. If this is just a childhood friend and not somebody that you talk to even every month and you just happen to talk to them, it definitely doesn't matter what that person says. It doesn't matter what anybody says. They do not get a vote. And you said jokes are fine and stuff. And so, but if he's got malintent in his heart, then you don't need to talk to him anymore. You're the one that gets to choose that. The thing you don't get to change, though, is you don't get to stop people from saying what they're going to say. You don't get to do that. Let's see. He then says you need to move out of that crappy apartment. It's not fair to your wife having to walk around with pepper spray. I was caught off guard and replied, well, we're saving money and like where we live, you don't need to justify anything to that person. He then goes on for a little, which I ignore. Right. And you should do that for the whole thing because he does not get a vote. I would never comment on my friend's life decisions like this, even though there are many I could. Well, then you're a better person than he is, and that's just the way it goes. And you just have to accept the reality of that. Why do people do this? Because a lot of people are assholes. Should I cut him off as a friend? That's up to you. The comment for some reason really got to me. Am I being sissy? You might be being too sensitive. It's possible if you're doing what you think is best to do and you and your wife have decided to live in that area, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. And so that's up to you whether you want to cut him off as a friend. Because, yeah, a friend generally wouldn't talk to you like that. And so that's up to you to decide. So, but it doesn't matter. You can't come at it like you can't apply it to yourself. You can't look at what somebody else is doing and say, "Oh, I would never comment on my friend's life decision like this." That doesn't matter. It did not. What you do doesn't affect what he did, and what he may continue to do. And so you just either have to accept people the way they are, or you can bounce baby out the door and not be his friend anymore. So, but as far as the interest rate shouldn't stop you. If you can afford the house, you can afford the house. So, but you and your wife do get to decide when to buy. But Mr. Ramsey would tell you you don't wait to try to time the housing market. You buy it when you have the money to put down enough down payment so that your mortgage on a 15-year fixed is 25% or less of your take-home pay. Excuse me. We use gross to do the 15% for investing in step 4. Rebel Flag 1993. I need some advice. Okay. Baby step 3, Flare. Hi guys. I just found an apartment. Housing market sucks and I couldn't find anything I felt comfortable with payment wise. I'm on baby step 3.5 to 4. All right. Well, you're not doing that then, because 4 doesn't start until 3 is over. So you're doing it wrong. I have about 4 to 5 months of income saved, and I want to get 6 months of income saved and fluid cash. And so you would do that before you start investing. So you did it wrong, apparently. My question is it better to max out an IRA, or would it be better to save up money for a down payment? Now that's different than the emergency fund. The emergency fund you get done first. And you say you want to have 6 months, and that's exactly what I would recommend for anyone that's going to buy a house before they save 1 penny for the down payment. So you would get that done first. Baby step 3, and that's the flare you put on there, and that's right. But your little crap about baby step 3.5 to 4, that's a no. You do baby step 3. Let's look at them. 1, 2, and 3. You do one at a time in order without even thinking about other steps. That's a no, no, no. You do step 1, get that done, and only then do you move on step 2, and you only do step 2 until that's done, and then you only do step 3 until that's done. There's no 3.5. Oh, we're almost there with that and start investing. That's wrong. You're doing it wrong. But as far as in this situation, you want to save the down payment. So first you still finish that 6 months. And I do recommend the 6 months if you plan on buying a house, because houses bring extra emergencies with them. I think it's a law or something. But the good thing is the balance between baby step 3B, which goes right here, and that is where you save your down payment. The balance between that, saving the down payment, and step 4, investing, is completely up to you. So you can do up to the match. You can max out a Roth IRA instead of doing 401k if there's no match with that, because that would be the advice anyway. Or for 2 years, you can not invest entirely for the 2 years. Don't invest at all for 2 complete years, and that will allow you to save a larger down payment faster. And so that is completely up to you. The balance between down payment and investing is completely up to you. Now, what doing them both at the same time, of course, and not taking that 2 years off from investing will cause it to take longer for you to save the down payment. So you just get to choose that and take full advantage of that, because there's not much else in the baby steps where you can say, oh, well, I'll decide how much this is. Like baby step 4, if you're going to follow Mr. Ramsey's advice, you don't get to decide, well, I'm going to do 25% then investing while I'm still paying on the mortgage. You don't get to decide that. If you do, you're not doing the baby steps. You're not following Mr. Ramsey's advice. But yeah, so finish step 3 first, and only then would you start saving the down payment. Baby step 3B, and investing if you're going to invest. So you shouldn't be doing that now. Sounds like already started though. Sarah here now. Should I pay for private school? No, I went to public school, turned out fine. I'm a mother of a 3-year-old, and I used to earn $250,000 a year with no debt. And then what happened? My daughter's father and I agreed to send her to a private school, but since his annual income is only $60K, he didn't want to tap into his savings, even though he likely has close to $1 million saved. Okay, so you're doing it wrong. Daughter's father here, not husband, so you did it wrong. You're doing it wrong still. So so you're not married. We don't make a joint decision like this, and then especially if you're not paying for it. So so don't be trying to say, well, he said we're gonna do that. A lot of times it's like my daughter's father and I agreed to send her to a private school. That could mean that Sarah here wanted to send the baby girl to a private school, and then the daughter's father was like, whatever, and bounced, and just to get out of the conversation, just to leave, and was not committed to that. But we don't know because we can't ask him his side of the story. And so, but either way, if you're counting on money from him and he doesn't give it to you, guess what? That means no private school. Doesn't matter how much he has saved up. None of that matters. I agreed to cover the cost, but my situation has since changed. Well, then you can take the lovely 3-year-old out of the private school then. Sorry, can't afford it. I was working as a contractor for an agency, but they hired permanent staff and my work dried up. On top of that, I got very sick and couldn't work for 2 months. I'm now set up as an independent contractor. Great. And last month I earned $8K, but this month I barely earned anything. You might have to work for somebody else instead of being an independent contractor. Let's see. Meanwhile, local child care costs about $400 a month. Yeah, that's why you don't have children outside of wedlock. You did it wrong. See what else is going on here. Whereas private school costs $4,000. Yeah, so that's a no. That is a no. You cannot do that. It's probably not even a good idea even if you were paying half of it, even if you were splitting it. That is dumb as crap. I started sending her to the local school 1 day a week and she loves it. Then there you go. What's the problem? I don't see the problem. It also has an excellent education rating, so I want to send her there full time. However, my ex has refused to contribute towards private school costs. You mean the local private school? Is that what you're talking about? The private school cost, and she loves it. Doesn't mean anything. Kids don't get it, especially a 3-year-old does not get any vote on anything. Even though he could afford it, no, none of that matters. That's the same thing as the other person. You're not going to change other people. It doesn't matter how good you are and what you would do in that situation. That has nothing to do with what he's doing. So, shouldn't have a baby with him. You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't have been living together if you were doing that either. I don't know if I don't know if they live together now or not, and it doesn't matter how much he has saved up. That's none of your business. You're not married to him. So, what would be great? Some child support would be fabulous, wouldn't it? Regardless, I still wouldn't do private school, but child support would be excellent. He says I should work multiple jobs despite my recent heart surgery and is trying to guilt me into tapping into my savings. Well, if you fall for that dumb crap, you're still being dumb like you were from the beginning with him. That's a no, no, no. Be smarter. It doesn't matter what he says. Right now, my priority, if it was that important to him, he would pay for some of it, wouldn't he? The answer is yes. You know, I get it. People can't see through their own situations, where if this was happening to a friend of yours, you would be more clear. And you would think more clearly about it because you're too close to the situation might not be able to do that, and because you probably deep down want your baby girl to be going to a private school, but tough crap, not gonna happen. Priority securing my own place as cheaply as possible. Yep. And maintaining my savings. That means no private school. I have no other debt, and at 38 years old, I have a pension and ISA account with 250K. Okay. I'm wondering what others think of the situation. Should I stick with the local school or find a way to continue private school? Okay, local school is the right one, and then she loves it, so that's great. That works out. She still doesn't get a vote, but it's good that she loves it. That's fabulous. So I want to send her there full time. However, my exes contribute. So the however there is wrong, and that makes it sound like that this next statement has something to do with the local school and isn't completely different with something that, you know, as far as I'm concerned, none of this is needed because here we go. You see this part here? I started sending her to local school 1 day a week. Bonus, because that's what you should do, not private school. And she loves it. Bonus, she loves it. It has an excellent education rating. Bonus. Who wouldn't like that? So, and the most important thing, so I want to send her there full time, period. It doesn't matter what he refuses to do, what he wants to do. He doesn't get a vote. And if he wanted to vote, he can pay for half of it. But it doesn't sound like it'd be a good idea for you to even pay half of private school for your child. And you don't even want to do it anyway. So you cut this out of here. Okay, so he's your ex-boyfriend, I guess. Maybe ex-husband, but it doesn't sound like it. But definitely ex. And so it doesn't matter what he thinks about anything. Doesn't matter. You know, I mean, he doesn't get to stipulate where the baby girl goes to school. He does not get to do that. If you have custody, you have full custody, then everything's on you. But he should still be paying some child support. Didn't mention that. Didn't mention that at all. So yeah, go with the local school. And hopefully you get some child support from him. Didn't hashtag mention that. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see what the chat thinks about it. Odd, how low is it? Especially this close to Christmas. I don't know what Simply's talking about. Coach is always to be honest. That's correct. You can just assume it. Marshall. Sister's new build house had the water heater burst in their garage. Oh, that sucks. She got the cars out, but not the Harley. Marshall said she should just do the local public school, as that is what she can afford. That much is certain. If he would have to tap his savings for the school, that is not sustainable for him either. True, because he doesn't make enough. And so she's just trying to justify that he should do this and this and this, but it doesn't matter what you type in here on the Reddit, on the internet, anywhere. It doesn't matter what you or I or anybody else thinks about it. That's not going to change the situation at all. So you need to embrace the reality of the situation and act accordingly. And you stop trying to your time is done trying to change him. If he's an ex, He's out of it. You don't need to be worried about him and try to make him a better father. He should do that himself, and if he doesn't do that himself, it's not worth it anyway. It doesn't mean anything if he's being forced to be a better father. Couldn't talk there. I did remember my water today, though. Finish off debt or save for taxes. Why do you have to? Why can't you do both? How about do both instead and sacrifice in other areas? That's what I'm gonna say. Let's see. Key Giraffe 1020. Finish off debt or save for taxes. We're in baby step 2 with around $4,000 left in non-mortgage debt. I was doing a tax calculator this week. Can't talk. Have a little water. This week and saw that my income tax withholding changed from single filing separately to filing together, and the calculator thinks we will owe almost 4K. Okay. Should I pause baby step 2 to save for taxes? I got a great idea. Why don't you finish paying off the debt, paying off that 4K, and then, as I said, you sacrifice something else, and then you have that done like in a month or two, and then that still gives you 2 months to save up before taxes are due, and then you can pay, basically cash flowing the taxes amount. So should I pause baby step 2 to save for taxes? I have an aggressive plan that was going to be debt free by the end of January, but no, if that January, so then you have February, March into the middle of April. Then you have 2.5 weeks. Or no. Dumb. You have all of February and all of March, so that's 2 months and so you have 2 months and 2 weeks in order to save more. And if you can do 4K between now, 5 days ago, and the end of January, then you can save up 4K for the taxes by tax day. And so I don't know why that didn't occur to you, but I'm afraid I would not have the cash to pay taxes by tax day. Why? I think that throwing the money I was planning for baby step 2 into savings and lump sum paying what I can on the cards after I pay taxes is the right play, but I wanted to hear other opinions. I don't know. If I was talking to this person, I would find out, well, tell me the math, and is there a possible way that you would not be able to save that for another 4,000 in more time than you can save the 4,000 to put on debt? Why is it going to take you much longer to save up more for taxes in a longer period of time? So that's what I get. People do love to do this stuff and overthink that, but unless there's something crazy, maybe some Christmas money came in or something like that makes them better able to save that 4,000 in a very short time, and then in a much longer time period, they have to save up the exact same amount for taxes, and they can't do it for some reason. So here's what never changes your plan. You never go on pause for anything, including the taxes. You don't do that for general worry, so that you might not be able to save it up. You don't change the Ramsey plan. You stay full head, steam ahead, and you finish baby step 2. And obviously you have that expense coming up of the taxes that is coming up. And so then you would save for that and take care of that before you would start on baby step 3, growing the $1,000 start emergency fund into the full emergency fund. Did I finish? That, yeah, I didn't want to hear other opinions. Yeah, so that's what I would challenge the person on. And if this is just general worry, no. And if you can do $4,000 in such a short time for paying off debt, you ought to be able to do it in a longer amount of time because it's the IRS. So the only problem would be if you're planning on starting to spend money on dumb stuff just because you're done with baby step two. So, like, for example, if you had a vacation planned right after that, you would not be able to go on that kind of thing. So, you just got to be honest with yourself and the situation and, figure out the math. So, again, it could be a situation where they can't. And if you can't, you certainly would want to make sure you have enough saved up by the time the taxes are due, middle of April. But you have until then to pay it off. And, it's like, well, I like to do my taxes early. Tough crap, you don't need to. So that way you have more time to save it up. So you wouldn't change it up because you want to file your taxes earlier. You wouldn't pause paying off the debt for that. You don't pause the paying off debt for general worry about something either. Like to change it, and you have to have at least a 51% chance of it happening. Like, oh well, in this economy, and I could be laid off. It's possible. Yeah, all that. You don't go into storm mode unless you have a 51% chance of it happening. So be honest with yourself and don't do it just because you want to do it. Do 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 do. This is from, who's this from? Oh, Positive Ad 6313. Adjust car loan to pay off credit card. What you talking about, Willis? Car loan is 28 months remaining, 8.6% interest and 4.15 monthly payments, $11,000 balance. You can also sell the car. The payment has been killing me. My loneliness is killing me. But my credit score was low when I got it. Sell the car. That gets rid of the payment immediately. Credit card, 25 plus percent interest. That was dumb as crap too. And $1,700 balance. Annual income, $50K. I've just been paying the minimum on my credit card because my income doesn't have much extra. Work more as well and spend less. Do the budget. Cut out anything that's not 100% necessary. As my credit score has been improving, I'm getting offers to refi my auto loan with longer term. No, do not do that. You're going to pay more interest. That is dumb as crap. You just pay it off. Or you can sell it if it's that bad of a problem. I mean, that's what Dave did today. He was a guy wanted to change the order of the baby steps, and because he lost his job, although he is starting another job in January, he wanted, in case it happens again, he wanted to put the full emergency fund before paying off the debt, and that's a no. And so how Dave got into his head about it was selling his car. He said, sell your car. If you're that worried about it, then you would sell your car, right? If you don't want to sell your car, guess what? You're not that worried about it. And he said, you don't change the baby steps. You don't change something that works. If you're that worried about it, then you make sacrifices. And that's what makes the sacrifices, and income is what, and spending less, and that's sacrifices because you're doing without dumb crap that you don't need to buy. What's more important is paying off the debt. So no refis, pay it off or sell it. Probably sell it. And then you get a $3,000-$4,000 car. The cheapest you can get that a mechanic has checked out for you and says, okay, buy that. The smaller auto payments would allow me justification station here. So that's a no. And approve few private bills I owe sooner, and then tackle the car loan more aggressive. No, sell the car. Just sell the car. You got a few private bills I owe too that you left out before. Sell the car. I plan on getting the car paid off too, so would it be unwise to increase the interest rate term length in favor of lower payments? Yes. Sell the dumb car that you shouldn't have bought anyway. Nigel Blake, go to trade school or pay off debt? You would pay off the debt before spending anything else. Income $22.60 per month. So you're making $22.60 per month without trade school. So now you wait. You did it wrong. You got the debt. So now you have to wait for trade school. 20K auto loan, 30K braces, savings 30K. Okay, you're doing it wrong. Pay off your debt now out of that savings. Age 28 man, so you're doing it wrong. Where over here does it say have $30,000 in savings while you have debt still? If you're just like looking at the ones that you were looking through the baby steps to see what you've completed, let's see. Baby step 3 says, baby step 3 says $30,000 savings. Actually, let's look at the Ramsey version of it. Save 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. So, go back to the question. $30,000 in savings. I already have that done. Cool. So I don't have to do that. And so then you just look at the rest of them and, I'm already investing. So good. I won't have to do that because I'm already doing it. And so you just look at, like that. But that's not how it works. You should not be doing any investing. You should not have more than $1,000 before you have all your non-mortgage debt paid off. And people just don't understand that. I want to start a new career as an electrical lineman next year. So maybe that's what the savings were for, but tough. You did it wrong. You got debt, so you got to fix that first if you're going to follow Mr. Ramsey's advice. Do I go ahead and cash flow the trade school or pay off my debt and attend later after saving up the money again? All right, I don't know if you heard of Mr. Ramsey, but he's the no debt guy. So what do you think? Knowing that he's the no debt guy, because you do know now, because I just told you, what do you think it is? Yeah, trade school waits until you have no debt and you have a full emergency fund. And then after that, then you save up money to go to trade school or cash flow it, whatever you can do. But no, you don't put off debt to go to school. Significant RIP 5200 dub copy trades. Does anybody know about this app? No, I don't. I bet it's dumb. Is it a derivative market or are you actually buying the stock? I don't know. Is there a fee on it? I don't know anything about it. It's dumb. If you want to invest, open a brokerage account, and those brokerage accounts have apps, or you can log into their website on a computer. Either way, you can do that, but you don't have to use that app. And anything, you got to be wary of anything that is trendy or anything like that. Anything brand new or trendy. Instead, how about a brokerage you've heard of? That would be better. Thank you for everybody that's watching. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Including people watching now and that will be watching later. Thank you so very much. Fire 45er. About to move to baby step 7. Fabulous. I, 34 man, have been aggressively paying down my mortgage for the past 8 years with my wife. That means we have been doing it, right? I will pay the remaining balance before the end of December. Paid off house, paid off car. Great. Paid off is supposed to be spelled the same way both times. Zero debt. Great. I'm so happy I started listening to Dave Ramsey. Me too. I've always had trouble explaining why I wanted to pay off the mortgage when the math says you should invest instead, because we don't listen to math. It's all this stuff is a behavior issue, not a math issue. My mortgage rate, after all, was only 2.7. At the end of the day, it came down to 2 points for me. One. Let's open up the rest, because I'm sure both of these will be cool. One, stability. If it ever really hits the fan, I take comfort in knowing my house is paid. Right? Wife and I can outlive off 2 weeks of my salary alone a month now that the mortgage is paid off. Great. Emotionally, no longer feel like I have a master in this world. Our monthly spend is so low as a couple that we both feel like we can truly do now do anything. Keep chugging along. Oh, the light at the end of the tunnel is worth it. Absolutely. Congratulations. And just in time for Christmas. Very nice. Before the end of December. Just in time for New Year's anyway. Close to Christmas though. Close enough. Gonzo Moto, first person intro and when to share success. If you're talking about on Reddit, you can type on here as much as you want, anytime you want to. There's not really a guideline on when to share success. If you have some success or feel like you're doing the right thing and want to share it, you should be able to type it on here. It's fine. Let's see, part one. Hello. Hi, guys. I've 26 single, been on a gazelle pace on my own the past 18 to 24 months, all thanks to my professions, which allow me to temporarily 3 times my income, tripling it during this time, and with support of my family to then also spend 1/3 times my expenses. Okay. And that's how you do it. You make more money and you spend less. That is how you do it. I've taken 3 months off since on leave. So many starting and then parentheses. So many of them. To sit, ponder, evaluate my experiences, find my values, and plan my path forward. I've since run into Dave, his team, and others, binging like crazy as the last step to do so and gather as much knowledge possible to make my own plan. I hope English is not first language. I mean, doing really well regardless, but my goodness. Where are we at? Make my own plan in my best interests. Well, all right. Well, as far as financially, it's going to be the baby steps, regardless. But the rest of it, you might want to make a good plan for other things other than finances. As such, I'm finding myself accomplishing or about to accomplish so many parentheses, only limited by house closing principles. Steps 1 through 3 in planning / in progress of steps 4 through 6. All almost simultaneously. How would that happen? Let's see. Oh my goodness. Maybe it'll be worth it. Maybe it'll be worth the read. I just bought a very nice car outright as my one big splurge, still within Dave's principle, using my normal income rate, a CPO at that. So we'll be low recurring costs for a few years. Okay, so if this was financed, dumb as crap. If it was a new car, dumb as crap. I'm closing on a home, more than his guidelines. Of course it is. but stuck with it before knowing, and I personally find the home worth it. Still not advised. The advice would be to get out of that and you find a different house. And upon closing, in order to not tank my credit, we don't care about credit. You don't need it. I mean, granted, if you're in a different country, they might require credit there. Apparently, they do in some countries. I'll be paying off all my student loans to complete being debt free, except the house. Yeah, and you should have that done and your full emergency fund done before you even try to save a down payment for the house. So you're doing it wrong. At this point in getting the basics for furniture, yeah, and so if you got to buy that too, all that's a no. Chill out. I will have everything I really need, including 6 to 8 months of expenses. 6 is the max to have. You shouldn't have more than 6 in savings. So sounds like you want to do your own thing, so you could certainly do that. So I'll be using the majority of my income to pay the house off as planned in less than 15 years. Great. The mortgage better not be a 30. If so, you're doing it wrong, even though you plan to pay it off in 15 years, because guess what? Everybody doing this dumb crap says they're going to pay it off in 15 years, and then they don't. Let's see, making that even less and investing 15% plus. It shouldn't be plus while you still have the house on a mortgage. I've budgeted everything else to also take care of all needs, leaving a bit of a buffer at the end of every month for market and income fluctuations. Add to savings. You're not supposed to add to savings. You don't add to savings. You already are having more than 6 months of expenses in savings. That's all you should have while you pay off the house. So you're doing it wrong. You're trying to do your own thing, which is fine. But then you don't need to worry about when to share success. You don't need to worry about first posting. It's not necessary at all. If you have something you want to do and don't care about anybody else's opinion and don't want anybody else's opinion for it, why bother? I don't get it. So not much for playing fun money, but as I said, everything I need. Plus, already I'm expecting promotions. Great. But then open up a lot of room for fun and, of course, very important, giving, indeed. All that said, I'm, of course, seeing almost 80% of the liquidity I built and worked so hard for the past couple of years going away. That's true. That's what happens. Because it will all be in the house. I'm getting more comfortable with that figure, knowing all of the benefits, a foolproof plan in action, if you will, and not so much. But I can't deny how scary that is, and not instead putting that money in the market or something else. That said, mentally speaking, I'm wondering and leaning if learning maybe if being debt free is just that much more valuable than what is technically best. Okay, well, again, trying to do your own thing, it's fine. Go ahead and do it. What are your thoughts on how to tackle this, or how you self went through that decision? Follow the baby steps is my thoughts on it. When to share success, I'm very thankful for the opportunities I've been afforded after my hard work and experiences I just completed. I now know I'm far more well off than most people. That much is certain. I'll give you that. And am interested in living a quiet luxury or stealth wealth lifestyle. Because of such, that said, obviously sharing success, no matter who you are, builds confidence, motivation, dopamine, etc. As I become more comfortable, I would love for people to find me as a mentor or someone to talk to for advice. As such, when is it right to share your success publicly? Anytime you want. All that's up to you. You don't have to ever do that if you don't want. You can share it as soon as you have some success. Whether you think it's success. I personally won't, because you're doing it wrong. But, it doesn't, for you, it shouldn't. If you believe in what you plan to do, It's not the Ramsey baby steps. So if you're trying to tell people you're doing that, you're not. So that's the only problem I would have with that. Otherwise, I fully support you doing what you want with your money. Kind of always struggled with doing so in a tasteful manner. I get excited, especially when it involves a passion like my motorcycles, without thoughts on others' opinions. I can see how they could be tasteless, even though that wasn't my intent. That's, you're overthinking it. All of this is overthinking it. First of all, as far as like when to talk about it, and even saying, well, this is going to be my first intro and all that. That's overthinking it. And then you also are overthinking by trying to improve upon the baby steps, and they don't need to be improved, they need to be followed. But you get to do whatever you want. Ebmar Har, Snowball or Avalanche. Well, so you see, the step here says, and let's look at the Ramsey version of it, pay off all debt except the house using the debt snowball. Oh, hey, look at that. It says use the debt snowball. So 55 people, I'm sure most of them probably said do the Avalanche. It's possible. But obviously, you would follow the baby steps. You're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit, not the Financial Bro subreddit. It's the Dave Ramsey subreddit. Karma's a beach. Living with parents. And that's a no if you're an adult. Hi all, hi guys. I was watching some recent highlights and the topic of living with family came up and it makes me wonder about other people's opinions. People have other people have opinions. Other people do have opinions. So what else? No, I mean about the living at home, as some people say it. Thank you, Karma's a bitch, for saying living with parents. At what age is it considered expected to be living on your own? You're an adult at 18. I would think at least by 20. I currently live with my folks so I can aggress, save for retirement and for a house down payment since I'm in a high cost of living region. You can also move out of that high cost of living region. My family is totes fine with me staying, but I'm curious if there are ethical issues or other reasons that this would be considered inappropriate, making about $75K a year. Thanks. Well, you're adult enough to be making $75K a year, and so you're adult enough to be living on your own as well. So Mr. Ramsey does not think adults, which that means starting at 18. Again, maybe you stay until you're 20, maybe, but live on your own and be prepared for life without living with parents. Like, because you live with parents, you may not even know what groceries cost. And you want to learn that the first time after you bought a house and are living in your house alone? Is that when you want to decide? Or that's when you want to find out how much groceries and everything else costs, electricity, all that stuff? Move out on your own, rent, and get used to life as an adult. That would be the Ramsey advice. Lori Williams, 21, first time using Every Dollar app. Let's see. Do you break down the charges by category, delete the transaction, and upload them individually to the correct category? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't use it that much. Didn't like it. I went back to my Google Sheet. Hashtag spreadsheet. Sell and move or stick it out. Let's see. Background, married with single income. 3 kids aged 10, 12, 14. All right. Not much time between them. We are both about to cross into our 50s, getting up there. 1 medical special needs. No predictable pattern to expenses, but we've always managed. Okay. Currently 20K in debt. Excuse me. Sleepy. But we should squash that within the year. Great. The next year or this year? or within a year, maybe. Currently, baby step 1 complete. We're working our best to tackle number 2. Great. That's the correct order. Husband and I are debating selling while market is high and settling for a much smaller house we can pay cash for, or at least 80% for. It would be quite the step down. That's the best thing to do sometimes. But it would put us in a position with more cash flow, which would allow us to tackle debt and save for medical, college, retirement easier. We love our home on half an acre. Yeah, and so you could also, does it say how much debt? Doesn't say how much debt. Sounds like a lot. So maybe you don't buy a house, because then you can sell and you rent, and then maybe if you sell and you're not buying a new house immediately, then you can immediately be debt free instead, and then you can save the money for a down payment on another house, and it can be that might not have to be a bigger house. I mean, a much smaller house. It might be able to be bigger by doing it like that. But of course, people don't ever think about that because they don't want to suffer by, oh, but then I'm not getting equity. Let's see. Love our home, half an acre. Neighbors are nice, quiet, and safe. Given the market is high, we would likely go back to what is essentially a starter home in a less nice neighborhood. Sure. I can't work since we homeschool. There are things we can cut, but most are kid activities, which we think are important given the need for socializing, etc. You can cut out most of those as well. So, sorry, the kids will be fine. Would love some thoughts on plus. Would love some thoughts on plus and minus. Oh, okay. Things I might not be thinking of. That, exactly what I said. Not buying a house, selling, and you put that equity that you get, you put that money into paying off the debt, and that puts you in a better place. And for at least a year, you can rent, and while you save up money for more down payment, and then you can maybe not have to buy a much smaller house that you would have to there. So because it sounds like this, they're talking about putting it all back into a house. Just it'll be a smaller house, so there'll be less debt, but then there's no cash to put towards the debt, and so that's what I would challenge the person to do. That one says no, do not sell your home just to be out of debt. And that's, some people say that all the time. You never sell real estate. That's dumb as crap, because that's not true either. Well, during the pandemic, a lot of us learned that we need a bigger home to stay sane while everyone else. That's bull crap too. Wah. People whining. Ditch the activities for a year until debt's paid off. Exactly. Do free stuff instead. That's right. Trying to reevaluate after Christmas and see what they are willing to take a break from. That's not how being a parent works. People are so dumb with that. To see what they are willing to take a break from. They don't get a vote. They're not working. Dumb as crap. Let's see what else. Anything else? Can you work from home 20, 30 hours in addition to those? Can probably do something. Can probably do something. Something wasn't a great fit. Yeah, it's always something. It's always something. You ask for different solutions, different ideas, and then you don't want them. So let's see. Well, I have nerd kids who weren't learning anything. They were bored out of their minds and wah, 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 wah. All right. They can only play once school and chores are done, and not after 7 p.m. And no Fortnite. One reads history books. Well, that's great. They sound like great kids. They don't get a vote of what they want to take a break from. You get to tell them as the parent. Another one saying, no, don't move. I'm moving. If you don't need that big a house, you don't need it, and you could be out of debt immediately, and then you can pick another house. You can still be in a house maybe that same size. It would just take longer, but you would not any longer have any debt. And so being house poor sucks, but it sounds like you can pay off your debt in current home, and I still wouldn't. I mean, the main thing is that she brought it up. She brought it up that that she was going to do that anyway, and so at that point, it's like, yeah, why not do it? We would have 2K to play with once debt free. Yeah, 2K is not enough to play with because you're putting all the rest of it into a new house, even though it is smaller, and so that would mean less debt. That's still doing it wrong. You would pay the debt off first. And so if you've done it out of order by buying a house too early, you can fix it by selling the house. Alrighty, once again, I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you, yes, you have financial problems or just want to know if you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. The link's in the ticker below and also in the video description. You can email me at coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/Coach Steve Money. Alternatively, Cash App, $Coach Steve Money. Alternatively, yet again, Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Also, super chats. YouTube does get 30% though. But super chats on live streams and super stickers and super thanks on pre-recorded videos. Ramsey Show Aftershow show. I'm assuming tomorrow will be a new show as well. I wouldn't expect to see Dave on it though, but could still be a new show. 5:25 p.m. tomorrow is when the Ramsey Show ends on YouTube, and that's the time I start up this stream. And so I will be continuing to do that even when the replays do start. And even on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I think those are... Boop-a-doo-doo-doo. 23rd. Oh, there's Friday and Saturday. Okay, so not Christmas Day. Oh, I did not realize. No, that's January. My bad. My bad. What are we looking at? Oh, yeah, that's right. Tuesday and Wednesday is Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve and New Year's Day the next week. Okay, so yeah, so I'll if I'm home, not invited anywhere during that time, I will be doing a live stream after that Ramsey Show replay for that day. Alrighty. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.